Today, we're going to learn how to draw the left and the right eye. The first thing I do is measure out the space between three eyes. There's the center. That's where the left eye is going to go. And that's where the right eye will go. 1, 2, 3. Find your midpoint, where your pupil would go, and then put a circle around where the iris would go. And go to the left and do the same thing. You should always switch back and forth with each step that you do. Go from the right to the left, or the left to the right. And then do the pupils. Try to make them, the left and the right, look exactly the same shape. And then do your outlined highlight shape. Remember that curvy looking triangle. And then I color in the pupils. And now we're going to work on the eyelids. Remember those two corner points. If you connect those 2 points, they should go up a little bit on an angle. The upper eyelid, remember, curves towards the nose and is straight away from the nose. Kind of match them up. Should be curvy right there. And a little bit flatter of a line away from the nose. The lower lid is curvy away from the nose and flatter towards the nose. And remember that little droop, that's where the tear duct is. And remember those lines coming from the center of the pupil, radiating out towards the outer edge of the iris. And darken in the outer edge of that circle a little bit. And the same on the other side. And we're going to work on outlining those eyelids. And of course the lower eyelid. And on the other side. Now while you're working on the other side, make sure to look to your right hand side and try to match the same shape of those lines that you have with the other eye. Otherwise your eyes are going to look different and they're going to be asymmetrical. And shadow in between those two lines because that flap of skin, remember, is away from the light source, so it's going to be darker. And that's what I want to talk about next, is your light source. So we have a little sketch line for the eyelid. And above that line is going to be slightly shadowed. But let me just do a little sketch off to the right hand side. I'm going to do a profile sketch. It's the forehead, and that goes into the eye, out into the cheekbone, back into the cheek, and down into the chin, into the neck. And there's our upper eyelid, and the lower eyelid, and the eyeball. And here we have our nose. And here's the upper lip and a lower lip. Not a very pretty face, but it'll suffice. There's our light source. So look at the way these angles are away from the light source or toward the light source. The upper eyelid, the lower eyelid is away from the light, below the cheek is away from the light, and underneath the chin is away from the light. Remember where that light source is. Underneath the nose. The nose itself is in the light. Underneath the nose is dark because it's away from the light. The upper lip is away from the light, and the lower lip is angled towards the light, but beneath the lower lip is angled away from the light. So just keep that in mind, all those planar surfaces when we're shadowing. Now, I drew 2 sketch lines to show the bridge of the nose. There's actually a little space between the corner of the eye and the bridge of the nose, and that's the deepest part of the face. So we're going to shadow that. Right here is where, if you're a male, it's a little bit more of a shadow area because the forehead is more prominent with males and less with females. But we all, no matter what gender we are, we all have that deep impression between the corner of the eye and the bridge of the nose because, like I said before, that's the deepest part of the face. It's going to be the darkest. Now let's sketch in the eyebrows. And now you can see it's starting to take form. And a little bit, just a very subtle shadow underneath the lower eyelid. You don't want to make that too dark or too heavy, otherwise it's going to make it look like you stayed up all night. So just a very subtle shadow. Now we're going to do the eyelashes. Remember, eyelashes grow out, they don't grow up. They grow out. And we'll do the lower eyelids as well. And of course, we're going to shadow onto the eyeball where the eyelashes and the upper eyelid cast a little bit of a shadow. So we're going to darken that across the entire upper part of the eyeball. And we have a little bit of a shadow coming in from the corner and the other corner. And do the same on the left eye. Just darken in the edges of those irises. And there you have it, the left eye and the right eye. Great job. Next video, we're going to be drawing the nose. Stay tuned.